Great, thanks. First off, I want to thank everyone for coming. We really appreciate you investing your time in our downtown, and we're going to be talking about some parking technology today. My name is Val Felger. I'm the parking coordinator with the City of Lethbridge. Dispersed amongst the crowd here is a project team, and they're going to be ready to help us whenever we need them. I just need to clear up a few housekeeping items, and then we can get right into it. Washrooms are just going to be out the doors that you came in. You'll hang a right and then another right. If there's an emergency, we'll head out the same doors, but we'll go slightly left and then out the main doors onto the courtyard. You've probably noticed and been talking to a number of the people that are standing around the room at these machines. These are the pay-by-plate or multi-space pay kiosks. And when we're talking as a project team about when people are starting with new technology, what makes them comfortable using it, we're like, well, it's actually trying it, using it, getting to experience it. So we asked all of the pay-by-plate vendors if they would come at no cost to the city and with no promise to purchase the machines to help our community with this transaction and the transition to this system. Sorry, I thought I lost myself there. And every single one of them said yes. What can we do to help the community? So I wanted to make sure that I thank them for being here. You're going to have time after I'm done speaking to talk with them, try them out, ask them questions that you have or your customers might have. And so that's greatly appreciated. And so let's get right into it. So the current state of what we're experiencing for our parking is that we've reached the life expectancy of our parking meters. Generally that's about 5 to 10 years of service, and we've well exceeded that. What we've been finding is that we have parking meters that are failed, so when customers go there, they have a fail across the screen. Or worse than that, they appear to be working, but when our customers put in coins, they get no time. We also have other issues with it, such as the bent and rusting poles, making everything look a little bit unkept. And so we got a project team together, and we brought on our project. I apologize, I'm a little nervous, so you'll have to excuse me. So in 2014, the project team got together. That was made up of a number of departments within the city. We all talked about what we must have to make it work within other operational components that the city has in place. From there, we hired Walker Parking Consultants to provide us a report and recommendations on parking technologies that would best suit our community. Once we received that report in February of 2015, the project team got back together. We talked about the report, and then we came up with some technical options that we brought to the public in our public engagement session held in December of 2015. We actually brought up 3 technology options in that discussion with our community, and from the public feedback we received, we heard that 81% of our community preferred the hybrid option, which consists of multi-space pay-by-plate machines, or the pay stations. We'd be using license plate recognition enforcement, and that our barrier-free or accessibility stalls, we'd be still putting in single-space smart meters. That's just to facilitate with some mobility issues that could probably be there. We heard people like this system because of some of the flexibility it offered. The multiple payment options was another reason that people really like this system. We heard that it was easy and flexible. We actually summarized what we heard about this option, and each of you on your clipboard has a copy of that. So that's what's brought us to where we are kind of right now, which is I'm very happy to tell you that based on that feedback, we'll be recommending to City Council for the purchase of the system that's required for the pay-by-plate, which is the hybrid system. And again, that's going to be a compromise of pay-by-plate multi-space machines and some single-space smart meters. So what we're here today to talk about is what that's going to look like on our streets, or how that could possibly work. So what we've talked about is breaking our downtown into zones, and I'll be discussing those shortly. Again, we have new payment options with these new machines. Not only will they accept coins, but they're also going to accept credit cards. And we're going to bring on a pay-by-sell option as well. We're looking at bringing the 10-hour parking meters to have a 4-hour minimum. This, along with the lower hourly rate, is meant to still support the needs of the long-duration parker. That's generally our employees or residents in the downtown looking to park for half or full days. And we just wanted to let you know that parking violations are going to continue to be left on vehicles. Parking rates and parking violation fines are not going to be raised as a part of this project. We're going to keep the rates the same. So this is why I'm really glad you're here. We're going to be talking about a couple of options. We're going to be talking about some options for time zones in your downtown and some options about machine placements. And your feedback is going to help determine what's going to be happening in our downtown with regards to this pay-by-plate system. We went with the time zone areas in the downtown because of the uniformity and simplicity it offers for the customers, but also it's flexible. So let's say you're at a store downtown or a business downtown and you've paid for parking of an hour and you go in and you find that the product you were looking for isn't there, but they recommend that it's at another store in the downtown. And it's one of our windy days in the downtown, so you don't feel like walking. If you have time remaining on your session and you find parking that's within the same kind of zoned area, you simply park it out and leave. You don't have to repay at each of the locations that you're at. We've also this opportunity, or this system allows us the opportunity to top up. And what that means is if it's on a really nice sunny day without wind, and instead of driving to that second location, you've chosen to walk there, and you want to spend more time in that shop, you can simply go to any machine that's close to the new place that you're at, add more time up to the maximum that's allowable for the zone, and continue shopping. You don't have to go back to your vehicle. You don't have to go back to the first machine you used. And we're also going to be implementing a pay-by-sell option, so you can simply do it from your seat of wherever you are if you'd like. So let's talk about those options. So for option 1, the downtown would be broken into 3 time zones. We would have a zone 1, that would be 1 hour of parking or less, a zone 3, that would be 3 hours parking or less, and a zone 10, that would be up to 10 hours of parking, but no less than 4. All of the accessibility stalls in the downtown would be from 3 hours of parking or less. So what does that actually look like? So the dark blue area is going to be that zone 1. It's kind of that core area. You find a little bit more of the retail or banks in that area. Generally, these businesses are requiring a higher turnover. Their transactions are quite quick. So we thought a 1 hour zone in that area. The yellow that's dispersed amongst there is going to be the 3 hour zone. What we found in those kind of a little bit more peripheral to the core is that there's more administration or client-based businesses requiring a little bit longer duration of parking. And then the light blue or the teal, that's really on those outsides are where we currently have our long duration parking, and that'll remain in those areas. So in option number 2, the downtown would be broken into 2 time zones. Zone 3 would allow for 3 hours parking or less. And we also have a zone 10 for up to 10 hours of parking, but no less than 4. And again, our accessibility stalls will all be at 3 hours of parking. What we've done in this option is really just get rid of that dark blue zone, that zone 1, and make it all a zone 3. Lots of customer movement in this option. You can see that the yellow is spread out all throughout the downtown. So if you were parked in any of those zone 3 options, or the yellow options, you could move to anywhere else that was yellow if you had time remaining on your session. So on top of the 2 zone placement options, or zone options, we want to talk about machine placement options. Both of the options that we're going to be presenting are below the walking distances of both Calgary and Edmonton. So we heard the community, we heard their feedback. They said that they wanted us to reduce the walking time, and we've made sure that we've designed them with community responses in mind. And we would have single space smart meters at all of our accessibility stalls at the downtown. We've done that so that people that are mobility challenged have easy access to a meter directly at the place that they're parked. So what could that possibly look like in those 2 options? So in option number 1, the downtown would have 135 multi-space machines and approximately 60 single-space smart meters at those accessibility stalls. What our plan is that in this kind of that zone 1 area, or that dark blue core area, we would have a slightly higher concentration of the multi-space machines. And then outside of that, we would have them spaced out a little bit further. So I'm just going to show you what that actually might look like. Maybe. Okay. So again, kind of in that core, we're looking at spacing our meters at about 1 meter for every 20 stalls. And what that actually means is if you parked in between the 2 meters, the most you would be walking is approximately 10 parking stalls to a multi-space machine. In those peripheral areas, so outside of that core,
We're looking at spacing them one machine for every 30 parking stalls. What that would mean is if you park directly in between the two parking meters, the maximum you would be walking to any meter is about 15 stalls. It works and then it doesn't work. Okay, so option number 2 has us placing 170 multi-space machines in the downtown. They'll all be all of those machines will be spaced at about 20 parking spots. So again, you'd be walking about 10 or less parking stalls, and we'd have the 60 single-space meters at the accessibility stalls. So what that looks like is a higher concentration of machines in our downtown. And again, basically for all of the downtown, if we parked in directly in between two multi-space machines, you'd be walking approximately 10 stalls to either machine. So some benefits, of course, everything has benefits. And one of the options, you'd see a time zone benefit of a simplified parking approach. With the 3 options, higher turnover in that zone 1 option. In another option, you'd see less confusion, more flexibility. When we talked about machine placement options, one of the options, we're going to see a cost savings, of course, a lower capital cost and lower maintenance cost, lower ongoing cost. With the other, it's probably the shorter walking distance, I would think, is one of the main benefits. So how do we get from where we are to where we want to be? What's that actually going to look like, that transition? Oh my goodness. This is making it hard on me. Okay, go slow. So what we would do is we would install everything at once. And what that truly means is, as we slowly install things, nothing would be turned on until we had the whole system in place. We would flip the switch, turn it all on. At the same time, we would hood the existing parking meters with the signs that said the new system was in place and a directional arrow telling you where the nearest machine would be. We would do a lot of community education with websites. We would have a strong ambassadorship program. What that would mean is feet on the street during startup, helping people get to know the system, understand how to use it. And then once we were up and running successfully and everything was running smoothly, we would start removing the old meters street by street, only leaving the poles remaining that had the bicycle rack on them. So once we get your feedback, what we're hoping to do is analyze that information. From that, if everything looks like we're still on the right track based on what the community needs are, we're hoping to go to council this summer with a recommendation to them to allow us to purchase the components required in the hybrid system. If council agrees with our recommendation, we would look to procuring in the fall of this year, and that would mean that we would have machines ready and installed by late fall or late spring or early summer of 2017. So just around the corner. So that's enough for me. We really want to hear from you, and so we've got lots of survey for you to fill out. We've got the vendors here to answer your questions. We're here, the whole project team is here if you have any questions for us. We've got tables that show the maps of the zoned options and maps of the machine placement options that we'll be standing at to help you understand those if you'd like. And we really just thank you for your time. All this information, as well as the survey, can be found on our website. And if there was somebody who wasn't able to come today who was really interested in this, please share this information with them. Their feedback is just as important to us. It really does take a village, and so we're all glad